It's Monday morning, early May of 2021, and we are in Carson National Forest, not far from Taos, New Mexico. Taos is in northern New Mexico, nestled in the mountains. And to the east, there's snow-capped mountains. To the southwest, there's a sprawling valley, and to the west is the Rio Grande Gorge. Right now, we set up base camp in the Winnebago in an area that has good cell service among the junipers at around 7,500 feet. When we're looking for a place to position the Winnebago for the week, priority has to go to cellular connectivity. That is so Shannon can continue her work on the road as a consultant in the IT industry. To find this spot, I utilize GAIAGPS to deduce where might be a good place to camp. And since we're placing emphasis on cell coverage, GAIAGPS with the premium subscription has overlays from the carriers. These overlays tint the areas on the map that have cell coverage. Now, these overlays should only be used as a very high-level reference. Do not take them literally because they are not that accurate. There are a lot of variables, and you could be down in a shallow ravine and have no cell service in an area that is otherwise very strong. My phone is AT&T, so I personally use the AT&T coverage layer the most. And areas with AT&T cellular coverage are tinted blue. So before we got down here, I was looking at Carson National Forest on my map, and I noticed that this one forest road runs along a ridge, and there is blue shading all along the length of it. That suggests to me that up along this ridge there's good line of sight to the landscape below, and there also might be decent dispersed campsites. When we got down here, we explored the length of this, found some really cool dispersed campsites with great views, and decent cell service throughout. It's not a petroglyph, but it's old. The gray rocks in this wooded ravine don't even look real. They look like hobbits hiding under blankets. Curiosity got the better of me, and I'm wandering entirely too far from the Jeep. It looks like a fairly well-traveled hike, because there's a lot of footprints in the sand, and I want to keep going, but I don't have my inReach, I don't have water, food, backpack, and I'm sweltering because I'm wearing long underwear. It was cold this morning. That canyon hike looks like it descends into the gorge. It's probably pretty cool. I don't know how technical it gets, but I am just going to put a pin in it for later. Alright, off we go. Just an hour ago, the sun was out, it was getting warm out, and now we have really nasty rain and sleet. I think it's just a squall. I'm not expecting it to last very long, but In the meantime, I think I'm just going to stay in the Jeep. There it is. I'm up on the mountain to the east, and I can see the van. I'm at 8,400 feet. The Revel is at 75, and it is 3 miles away as the crow flies. Yep, I'm up on the mountain to the east, and I got out my binoculars, and sure enough, I can see the shining beacon of the Revel in the distance.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm walking outside, waving at you, I think.
I don't know if you're going to see me. You're just a speck. Although the wind is way up, the weather does seem to be improving. So I'm stopping for a lunch break in this beautiful canyon lined with blooming aspen trees. There's a hiking trailhead here that goes farther up the mountain, and a small stream in the woods behind me. It's absolutely beautiful here. In case you're wondering, I temporarily switched to glasses just till I get back to the Revel. My eyes have been feeling itchy and dry all morning in my contact lenses, so before lunch I took it out. It's a sunny Tuesday morning, and Shannon made delicious scrambled eggs for breakfast. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where's my hat? Oh, I've been sitting on it. First day with a new mouth. You know who's a really happy camper? Finnegan. When we find a nice place like this to park the Revel, and then when the sun comes out, Finnegan loves to sit outside. He falls asleep in his bed and just soaks up the sun. I think he absolutely loves van life. check it out. I was down there yesterday. That's the very same canyon that I was exploring on foot. It looks like it goes for about another half mile, and then the hike terminates down by those rapids. Now I regret turning around. Not far from where we parked the Revel, there's a designated Forest Service campground and a day use area with a hiking trail down into the gorge. There's a vault toilet, there are sites with picnic tables and fire rings, and then there's also beautiful primitive sites like this one. I will be looking for a spot to camp in the Jeep tonight, but not yet. It's still 11:30 in the morning. I'm gonna keep exploring. I'm on my way up to the western rim of the Rio Grande Gorge looking for a place to spend the night. There's a rural dirt road and a steel bridge that crosses the river, and it's really cool down here in the canyon. There's a day use area and a couple of beach access areas where you can just come down and hang out, hike, or just sit by the water. It seems like a pretty popular spot. There's a lot of people down here right now doing just that. There's a dude that's fishing. And Baby Yoda. Looks like an old wind barrier. It works. I am so over the wind, so I am eating inside the Jeep. This is a double-decker grilled cheese and pepperoni sandwich with a lot of garlic. I don't know why I put the garlic on, but I had it and I thought, why not? It smells good. This is really, really good. It's also on stale sourdough bread, and I made the bread unstale just by adding a ton of butter. It's Wednesday morning. I'm at a really nice campsite on BLM lands that I found on the west side of the Rio Grande Gorge. It's an exposed clearing with a stone fire ring and not much vegetation, so there wasn't much protection from the horrendous wind last night. Speaking of wind, what does today look like? Because the wind has been bad for 2 days straight. Up to 15 miles per hour, but not as bad as yesterday and the day before. Good. What's wrong with this picture? I noticed while I was making coffee that the Jeep was leaning a little bit to the right. Sure enough, my passenger side rear tire is flat. At some point yesterday, it picked up a screw in the center of the tread. The good news is, it looks like an easy fix. So I'm going to break out the air compressor, fill it back up again, head into town, and get a permanent repair at a tire shop. Wasn't exactly my plan for this morning, but it's still early, 8 a.m., so I'll get that taken care of, and then once that's sorted, I think I am going to head into the mountains. Oh, it's for me. Hello, mountains? Yeah, I got your call. I'm coming. That was really bad. Well, my tire's fixed and I'm in the mountains, thanks to the guys at North Star in Questa. This is beautiful. What a difference from the high desert that I just came from. I'm at a high elevation lake at around 9,200 feet in Carson National Forest. There's a day use area with a vault toilet and picnic tables, a hiking trail that I'm on now, and even some decent dispersed campsites if you're interested in spending the night. This is an absolutely exquisite creekside campsite. A+. It's Wednesday night, around 7 p.m., and I found this great campsite with a happy little fire ring at 10,000 feet in Carson National Forest outside of Red River, New Mexico. It's interesting because, as you've seen from the last few days, you can travel about a dozen miles away and the scenery is completely different. It's more of a high desert. But today, after my flat repair, I came into the mountains and it's like a different world. It's lush and it's beautiful. This site is only accessible via four-wheel drive. The track up here was short, but it was fairly rough with a lot of loose rocks. It's just a short drive to Red River, New Mexico from here. And I haven't been there before, but I think it's a ski town. In fact, some ski slopes are visible in the distance beyond the trees. I think tomorrow I'm going to head down into town and see what it's all about. See if I can find some coffee or, more likely, pizza. Possibly both. It's Thursday morning in Red River, New Mexico, and it is very much a ski town. I'm going to spend a little bit of time walking around town this morning, and then I think I'm going to grab lunch in town. The Red River Brewing Company looks extremely tempting. And then after that, I'm going to head home to the Revel. It's still early. For now, I'm going to get to know Red River. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Steam Coffee Company in Red River is housed in what used to be an old train car. It's Thursday afternoon and I'm back at base camp in the high desert. Unfortunately, the wind is picking up again, and the clouds are rolling in. I'm going to call that a wrap for the week, because when Shannon's done work, we're going to go into Taos and have a date night at a Mexican restaurant that we found last weekend. It's Antonio's, and it's located in Taos. Honestly, it was phenomenal last time we were there. Some of the best Mexican food that I've had in a long time. And we wanted to make a point to go back before we left the area. As always, I hope you enjoyed exploring with me, and I will catch up with you again next week.